good night to Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique. Once again, the Eastern Caribbean, wherever you are. We say a special good night to each and every one of you. Yes, indeed. It is Talking Points. My name is Sheldon Scott. I'll be here with you up until the 10 o'clock hour. And we're live on 91.9, 91.5 Real FM. Also live in Brooklyn, 94.9. Yeah, I hope you all are hearing me clearly, and so if you're not hearing me clearly, let me know. Say a special good night to all of you joining us via the YouTube, all of you joining us via Facebook. Indeed, it is the sweetest name. And of course, it's Monday night. The phone lines are open. You can call at any time. 440-7377, 347-329-3101. I hope that you all had a wonderful weekend. A productive weekend, yeah. I think I'll listen to video. Good night to you, John Stafford, Elsie Peters, Alban Harris, Kathleen Ledlow, Francis, George, Shoshan, John, Agnes Henry, Faithlin, Hallie Douglas, Gavin Thomas, Maud Martin, Debbie Seals, Osbert, James, Gillian, Noel, Yolan, Pariak, Jackie, Raymond, Teresa, Joseph, Errol Bonaparte, Lona, Lolo, Williams, Baby Daddy, Carib Spice Fitness, Anne-Marie Celestine Grant, Jacinta Livingston, Velma Pascal, Stephanie John, Matthew Bowen, Jesse Sherry, good night to you, Michelle Alexander, Shoma Alexander, Lishra Abraham, Claude Abraham, Dolores Redhead, Hermione Calise, Vanessa Lalji, yes, Phyllis Mitchell, you're good, nice. Christine Otley, Deborah Laborde, good life. Rosalind Jones, Cindy Thomas, Gemma Warwood, I see Patsy Frank, Miriam Samuel, Adrian Watts, good night to you and the lovely Mrs. Watts. Clive Raymond, Clive. Eliza Bernard, Shirley and James, Christine Adams, Deborah Flanders, Islan Musk, Dominic in the house. Yeah, good night to you, Dominic Antoine. Ron Julian Ashma Charles. Jacket Man. Jennifer Lewis Antonito. Beavis John. Yeah, Rick English. Kathleen Knights. Denise Donaldson. Wendy, tell us what I see you. Jocelyn Matheson, Sherms Houston, Sharon Felix, Lydia Isaac, good night to you, Miss Bowen. I met Miss Bowen today. Good night to you, Miss Bowen. See, I made it in okay? Yeah, I'm good. Vicky, good night to you. Hey, Kenrick Gibbs, Leroy St. Paul, Cynthia Bay, Norman Noel, Shirley Lacrette, Tegwa, John Mark, Dixie Ann Victor, Errol Bonaparte, Dr. Love, Dylan Pierre, Laslin Douglas, Landon, Jane Martin, Charles, Laslin Douglas, Wallan Aquatora St. John, Yvonne Courtney, Charmaine Ragbasing, McLean Mitchell, Merrill George, Esther Peters, good night. Dennis Fabio, Cicely Celestine Smolax. You ready, Paranga? Ready, Papa? Shirley Lacrette, Jillian Prescott, Enoch Bain. Yeah, all the way out there in Washington, D.C. Good night to you, bro. Peter Stryker, Martin Charles, Louisa Williams. Winnie Simon, good night to you. Connie Tompkin, good night to you, my dear. Glenda Smith, good night. Rhonda George and Joseph. I see Sophiana Maguire. I have a feeling I know Sophiana Maguire is. I find I know that name here. Marietta Telesford. NP Maguire. Nurse Maguire. Oh gosh, girl, I really see the shut down your account, girl. Oh God. Good night to you, Marilyn. Good night to you, Pastor Lewis. As I said, the phone lines are open 440-737-734-732-93-101. I know a lot of you have been wondering what has been happening with Real FM, so I know they had some challenges over the last 48 hours, and so everything should be okay. Fatman George, good night to you, bro. Everything should be back to okay. I'm not sure if it's by tomorrow or when. I'm not the spokesperson. They will speak on their own. But I know they had 1 or 2 challenges, so they'll be back on, yeah? At least on the social media side. Yes, indeed. So it has been an interesting weekend. And I want to start on this note, so I don't have to end on that kind of note. Over the weekend, we've had yet another murder again. I think we're up to what? Is it 14 or 15 now? We're up to about 14 murders. More murders than the months of the year. So we're up to 14 now. And I'm sounding a warning tonight to all Grenadians to take what is happening seriously. I remember being a child in Trinidad let's say after the 1990 coup, when murders became a bit too commonplace. So you went from the 20-something and so on, it went up to the 50-something, then it went to the 100, then it went to the 200 and so on. And it became normal. In fact, people get killed in Trinidad now and it doesn't even make the front page. That don't make the front page. It had to be something like a massacre that passed and they killed 3 or 4 people or somebody well known for it to make the papers these days. It's gotten to that stage in Trinidad right now. And I don't want to see my country, I don't want to see Grenada get to that stage. I don't want us to start to normalize this sort of thing. And I realize we've got 14 murders and it's got to a point in time that, look, it's beginning to become a bit normal for people. As in, the next one dead. All right, yeah. And they're going about their business. And the only ones who seem to be shocked or upset are the family members and those who knew the individual and so on. And we're normalizing this a little too much. And it is becoming something that no longer elicits a kind of response from us, as in, you know, it no longer elicits that response from us as, my goodness, what is happening? But it is becoming normalized, and it's worrying. Now, the men and women of the Royal Grenada Police Force have been doing a good job thus far. The detection rate of the people who have committed murders is one of the highest in the Caribbean, if not the highest in the Caribbean. They've been doing an excellent job in relation to these cases and so on. But I'm saying that I realize bit by bit, creeping into our Grenadian psyche is a normalization of this thing. So somebody shot and killed, and it's just like, yeah, we're the killer next one there. Someone is stabbed and killed. It's becoming a bit too normalized. And we have to take stock as a people of where we are, and we have to pay attention to that. As a nation, we have to pay attention to that. Not only that, but all different segments of the Grenadian society need to play their part in getting us back down to where we were before. Yeah? We can't be having no 14 and so, because this year, you're going to be hearing it like this, and then next year, it's going to be like a race to surpass what you're hearing this year, and then it continues when people begin to think that it's normal. The way to solve something is to shoot somebody or to stab somebody or to chop somebody. when they begin to think that that is the normal, that is the way that we're supposed to respond, instead of trying to talk things out, we're going to be heading down a dangerous road. We need to take stock as a people. And you also need to have a national crime strategy in place. There's no national crime strategy. There's only reflex actions taking place by this administration. So you have increase in firearm-related murders. So immediately, they put a law in place. They put a law in place with all sorts of things in it in relation to firearms and so. Because you have an increase in the number of murders taking place with firearms and so. But what is the overall crime strategy? That involves places like the Ministry of Education, the Ministry of Youth, the Ministry of Health. All of these are key stakeholders in how you address crime. The prison system, the Royal Grenada Police Force, the legal fraternity, all have a part to play in how you reduce crime. But don't think that anybody else doesn't have. When it comes to things, for instance, like the bus drivers and the type of music that's played on the buses, all have a part to play in relation to how we reduce violence in our country. I always say, and I'll continue to say, Grenada is the best country on earth. Who want to vex, vex. Grenada. Sorry, my St. Lucian friends. Love you all, my Bajan friends. All of you in St. Kitts, all over. Love you all. But Grenada is the best country on earth. We just had the worst government ever. But we are the best country on earth. We are the most loving, peaceful people on earth. And we cannot allow that to change. We can change the government, but we should not change who and what we are as a people. The time will come, we will deal with the government. Because they have not put forward a proper crime strategy that says, this is the direction as a country that we're going. That the Ministry of Youth, within the Ministry of Youth, there are going to be various programs. In fact, it does not seem as though we have a Ministry of Youth or division or Department of Youth or whatever they call it now. It doesn't even seem as we have one of that. Because you don't hear them. You don't see them out there. And again, I'm not blaming the staff. They have very competent staff. But there's a problem when it comes to leadership. And there has been a problem when it comes to leadership within that division, department, or ministry, as I said, whatever they're calling it now. There has been a problem with leadership from the time there was a change in government in this country. They have totally destroyed what existed as a Ministry of Youth that offered opportunities to the young people of this country. Ask them, what opportunities have they created for young people? They've said the worst about the Imani program. The worst that they could possibly said. They've said it about the Imani program. They've said the worst that they could possibly say about all the programs that were put in place by the new National Party. Now, going on 2.5 years later, they are yet to put anything in place that is better than what the new National Party had, and they run them out on. Not one new youth program. And they are destroying the programs that exist. None. Opportunities in sport, what are they doing? Somebody sent, I can't pull it up now. In fact, let me leave that one alone, because I will go and talk and then I go, yeah, I'll leave that one alone now. But somebody sent some pictures of a certain facility for me. And I have to talk about it. Yeah, when I pull up the picture, I'm going to talk about it. Because they run and they say all kind of things. So we have a problem when it comes to violence in our country. And there are various things that could cause that. But you have to look at the causes, and then you have to look at how you're going to address it. How are you going to address violence as a health concern? Because when they get chopped, when they get stabbed, when they get shot, is the Ministry of Health that had to take care of them? Is the emergency room they're rushing them to? And other people there in pain, and they had to rush them inside now to try and see about them. So it is a healthcare concern. It is a concern for the prison system. When you check the number of prisoners that are in prison right now, and what is supposed to be the carrying capacity of the prison, it is a problem, it's an issue. It's an issue for the Royal Grenada Police Force. It is an issue for all segments of society. And as such, what is the crime strategy moving forward to deal with this issue? So I just decided I would start on that particular one. Also, I've been hearing some very disturbing figures. Over the weekend, I've heard the figure of as much as 10 babies that did not make it, infants that have not made it at the General Hospital. That's a figure that I think probably you'll have to ask the Minister of Health if you ever find him, because it seems as though he's disappeared from sight. But we're hearing a figure of as much as 10. As much as 10 that have died for various reasons. In some instances, it's negligence on behalf of parents or parents-to-be. On some, we're hearing that there are issues at the facility that have caused these problems. Yeah? In some instances, I hear some blame being passed and so on the nurses and so on, and the doctors and so on. I continue to say, you have good doctors, you have bad doctors. You have good nurses, you have bad nurses. Yeah? So I'm not casting the blame on them totally. I'm saying there's a problem with the structure. There's a problem with the policy that is in place. If you have three or four deaths at a pediatric ward or a maternity ward or wherever, if you have 3 or 4 deaths taking place there, and there are complaints in relation to it, I would have thought that any Minister of Health worth their salt would have put in place a commission to investigate and find out what is happening. Is it something that the ministry is not doing that they should be doing? Is it something that parents are supposed to be educated about that they're not educated about? What is the problem? And I'm just throwing things out here. What is the problem that is causing that? Because at the end of the day, when someone acts in an irresponsible manner and they go to the General Hospital, they've done all the irresponsible stuff and they get to the General Hospital and then they die and the hospital gets the blame, you can't really argue the family of the person that died. As far as the nation is concerned, the person went to the hospital and they died. So some investigations need to take place. At least a commission should be put in place to look at these things, to find out what is the cause of what is happening. Why are we having cases of mothers losing babies? Or of mothers themselves dying? And there have been a couple cases this year. Is it that the prenatal care that should be taking place is not taking place? Is it a case that the mothers have not been properly educated to do what they need to do, or they're just negligent? Is it a case of the services that should be available for them at the outpatient clinics, at the maternity ward, or wherever, the outside facilities? Is it a case that what should be available for them there is not available? What is the situation? An assessment has to be done. But you see, when you have a bunch of people that don't care, it's just like these things are happening, and you keep hearing the care, and you're hearing all the horror stories of people saying, well, I went through this, or my child went through this, or my grandchildren went through this, and you're hearing the horror stories of what's going on. And then you hear no response from the ministries like, okay, they're dead, yeah, all right, cool. People will stop talking about that just now. We ain't care. That seems to be the kind of attitude that we're getting. And again, we ask the question, where is the Minister of Health? Where is he? We're not hearing him. We're not seeing him. And we're definitely not seeing improvements due to anything that he's been doing or not doing. We've not been seeing that. So where is the minister? We can't see him, we can't hear him. But you're hearing this one die, that one die, these sort of things taking place. We need a proper assessment of what is taking place. The families ought to be able to apply to either it's a board of inquiry or whatever, and they would let the chips fall where they may. Because you could very well have situations, and I want the nurses and doctors to listen carefully. There can very well be situations that the nurses and the doctors are getting some innocent blame. There can be situations like that. Let's face it. There can be situations where the doctors and the nurses, the healthcare providers on a whole, there can be situations where they're getting innocent blame. You could also have situations where they have done something that they ought not to have done or did not do something that they should have done, and therefore the blame is on them. But the only way to clear them or the only way to confirm that they are doing something wrong is if inquiries take place in relation to what has been happening. But again, as usual with this administration, they think nobody ain't go study that, man. Nobody ain't thinking about that. So they'll just go ahead and continue doing as they've been doing already. No. I believe that something seriously has to take place, some sort of investigation, some sort of inquiry, so that we can find out what has been happening. I tell you, I'm hearing the figure of 10. In the last month or so, I'm hearing the figure of 10. I really don't want to believe it, but I'm just saying that is the figure that I'm hearing of the amount of children. 10. In the last month or so. That's a high figure. Something has to be done. All right? Nice. 440-7377 347-329-3101.
Sir, I hope you listen to me. I'm not your enemy, just the voice of the people.
We have a call online. Hello, good night. Hello, good night. Oh boy, for some reason you're sounding extremely muffled, my friend. I don't know if you're using a device to speak, but it's not working. Yeah, caller, I don't know if you were using a Bluetooth. Usually when you use a Bluetooth device and you're trying to call to the program, we don't hear you clearly. So you would have to call directly on the phone or whatever it is, because we're not hearing you clearly with that. So you need to call us again and call us. Call us again.
Since after that, we waiting for something major to be done. Not one campaign.
We've got a call online. Hello.
Hey, good night, Brother Sheldon.
Hi, good night.
How's everything, man?
Quite fine. Go right ahead.
Yeah, I think I've a few weeks back because I was done with the cold one.
Okay, I understand, man.
Yeah, that was done with the cold. Yeah, Brother Sheldon, I want to focus this evening about health. Brother Sheldon, I remember the election campaign. This government was health will be one of the main focus, right, of taking the country forward. And when we take a deep look, we don't take a deep look, we just look at what is going on in with Ministry of Health. Brother Sheldon, Ministry of Health is a disgrace. It's a disgrace, and it's a disgrace. And every time when this government and this governance, Ministry of Health always take a take a nosedive, because like they just saying things in word just to get in governance. But when they get there to put Ministry of Health and to make it one of the main pillars, right, of what is in the campaign, they cannot execute. And not only in the Ministry of Health, when you look at the Ministry of Sports, culture, look at the carnival season, what you see again, Brother Sheldon, it is a disgrace. When you look again the Ministry of Works, where the Prime Minister and infrastructure, the Prime Minister is the Minister responsible for there. And what you are seeing, Brother Sheldon, all the ministries and them, they take a nosedive. Because you have ministers there, what they have the lack of knowledge, the lack of vision, of how to put things in place of a run of a ministry, to make a ministry effective and take a ministry forward. But what we are seeing here, all the ministries going back. Because this government have no vision to take this country forward. And the only thing that I see the government doing is paying salary. And sometimes they pay salary, they pay it all, sometimes they pay it late. Right? I thought that's one of the achievements. Because from time this government, the NDC came in governance, people are really suffering. They suffering and they continue to suffer. Because look at what happened with burial. the people Carriacou and Peter Martin, St. Patrick, St. Andrews, St. Mark's, they get damaged. What the government gets money? What are they doing? What are they doing to help the people to build back? What they are doing? Don't say they don't have money. They have. They get money to help people. What are they doing? Are they holding money to pay salary? Or are they holding money to campaign? Brother Sheldon, I want to say to the people of Carriacou and Peter Martin, yes, we recognize you all made a mistake, but we have to learn from a mistake. And make sure you all get registered. Make sure you encourage your children with the age of 18 to get registered to vote and to vote for the NMP, the party that when anybody in governance, the people going to Carriacou and Peter Martin smile. So, Brother Sheldon, have a blessed night.
All right, thank you very much, caller. 440-737-734-7329-3101, and we've got a caller online. Hello, good night.
Good night, Mr. Scott. How are you doing?
Hey, I'm quite fine, bro. How are you?
Not too bad. How was your weekend?
Very quiet. That's how I keep it these days.
Yes, Mr. Scott. Well, I have
very
some
quiet.
information, I want to find out
Yeah, you go ahead.
based on the classroom. I understand that the people of Carriacou is coming to Grenada because, as you know, the government is not helping the people of Carriacou. So they're coming to Grenada to purchase what they have to purchase in terms of material, whatever they buy. And they are asking the firm if they had send it up for them. And they said yes. Reach on the boat said yes, he came. But what you reach in Carriacou into the custom, they're not receiving it. They're not getting it.
I haven't heard that one myself. I haven't heard that one myself. I'll have to investigate that because I know people who have sent up, so I'll have to ask them.
I hold it in the classroom. I hold it in the classroom.
Yeah. No, all I'm saying is that I haven't heard that, so I'll have to double check that. Yeah.
Yeah. So I want to know what's going on in terms of the people not getting the stuff, because you're not helping them. You're not giving them any opportunity to get help. Then you take 25, and I said you take $25 million put in the bank and telling them they have to get some farm. So in other words, they're going back to they have to pay tax. I don't understand what's going on in this place. The people look at it again. I understand there's a baby that passed away in the hospital. What is going on in this place? Man, if them men can't make it in this country, give it up now. Give it up. We have people who will take care of it. Sheldon, I tell her, coming with a bus from this morning, 6 o'clock to reach in St. George's, and Tim Sheldon, not a person on the road. You are dead. What is going on in this place? And right now, the people balling now. The old people balling. I'm sorry for them, though. Have a good night, man.
All right. Thank you very much, bro.
All right.
Yes, indeed. 440-7377, and I know one or two of you have been trying to reach us on the WhatsApp. Let me try and give them back a call, man. Yeah. Once they're trying to reach us on the WhatsApp and we miss the call, just try to give you our call back. So let's see if that works out. And going once, going twice. Let's see if we get them. Hello, good night. Yes, sir. For some reason, you sound very muffled, man. But go ahead. Let's see if it clears up.
I want to ask you a question. What about those guys that have killed those people on the yacht and they found them in Kimpton? So we don't hear nothing about that again. What's happening to these guys? And what happened to the kids? Can you share a little light on it if you can know anything about it? Thank you.
Okay, great. Or the guys who are accused of murdering the couple on the yacht, they are presently at the prison. As far as I know, the last I know they were at the prison. I am not sure when their other appearance at the court will be. I can endeavor to find that out and say it on air. But I know that the case is proceeding. I could find out when their next appearance is. The last thing I know is they ain't laying them out. They ain't coming outside easy. Take what I tell you. They ain't coming outside. I don't see anyhow them coming outside anytime soon. Yeah, so I would find out in relation to that. And yes, we are not hearing anything about it. That's partially our friends in the media. They need to follow up on things like that and give some updates as to what has been happening, and so they need to do that from time to time. People are interested in knowing what's the update in relation to that case. We have a call online. Hello.
Oh, what's up, Sheldon?
Hey, I'm good, man. How are you doing?
Good, man. Good, man. Listening live and loud, man.
All right.
Loud and clear.
All right. Lovely.
Yeah, man. Well, what I really wanted to address tonight is the fact that we are hearing so much of these things happening and we're not hearing from our leaders, especially the Prime Minister. And I find it's rather strange that all of these things are happening and we're not hearing from the minister, we're not hearing from the Prime Minister, and it that kind of baffles me, and to see the fact that our health system is reaching in such a state that we are losing kids and we are losing babies and mothers too, and as you said, it does not necessarily have to be because of the doctors and so on. It just means that the system is broken. Right? And we definitely need some sort of intervention somewhere or the other. And we just being led by a bunch of incompetent persons, and we need that to change. Otherwise, I honestly don't know. I every day we listen to all of these things happening, and every day and every week is something else. It's either people dying in the hospital, it's either corruption, it's always it's just too much. Grenada is heading down a path that we really need some sort of intervention, and I'm not hearing what is taking me aback is that I'm not hearing the persons that were so vocal before during the time of the previous administration when things not even close to that was happening, and they were so vocal. Persons like former Prime Minister Tillman Thomas and all these other people that were so vocal when it come to transparency and accountability and holding people accountable. And so where are these people now? Are they no longer Grenadians? Are they no longer patriotic? Do they no longer care about what is happening in the country? But like I would always say, kudos to you for bringing these issues to light, and we'll always, we're just waiting for the time when the time is right for us to do what we have to do, man.
All right. Thank you so very much, my brother. You're good otherwise, though.
All right. Everything good, man. Everything good.
All right.
Let me say good night to my brother, Mr. Bihari, as well. I think he's listening somewhere. So let me just shout him out as well. Our dear brother.
Yeah, man. He did somewhere listening.
He did somewhere. I know as soon as I come off the phone, he calling me. Every time.
All right, bro. You have a good one.
All right, take it easy, brother. All right.
It's a good friend of mine there. We have a call on the line. Hello, good night.
Good night, Senator Scott. How you doing?
Hey, I'm good, man. How you doing?
No, not too bad, not too bad.
All right.
Man, what I'm hearing, Senator Scott, is heartbreaking, man. Mm-hmm. But we have a problem in Grenada, Senator Scott. Where are the leaders? If you, Jenny, Andre, doesn't say something on the classroom, but that is people just on the system. But we want physical people in Grenada to stand up, Sheldon. If the people don't stand up, remember everything, let's pray. That's not working. The Master give us knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. He says, seek and you shall find. We did that in the 70s against Gary. We did it again later on in life against Dr. Mitchell. You understand? When we find something wrong, demonstration a week before the election, Sheldon, we had demonstration in Grenada. I was in Grenada. Mm-hmm. You understand? Why not all Grenadians gone cold and hoping something could drop from the sky and help them? Somebody had to stand up. During the revolution, after the revolution crashed, and they want to free Maurice Bishop, Radic take to the street. Kendrick Radic take to the street. At least he started something. Then after that, what happened? The whole of Grenville stutters, everybody hit tongue. We have to do something, Sheldon. We just can't sit back and just let the country fall apart. And all what this government used was money to see if they could bribe people with money and stay quiet. We have to do better than that. Where is the health minister? When Mr. Steele was there, he got enough blame, but one thing, he was always there, Sheldon. He was always there. When Mr. Telliswood, the last time he missing for about a month and a half, who say he's sick? Who say all kind of things? He missing in action again, Sheldon. He missing in action again. It's time for the Grenadian people to get up. What we waiting on? Get up and fight for your country. Fight like hell, Grenadians. You guys not fighting. You just listen on the talk shows and think they Sheldon and them trying their best. Jenny's trying her best, but that is not enough. Come on, we need some leader to step up and make that sacrifice to save Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique. Have a good one, Sheldon.
Thank you so very much, bro. Yes, indeed. 440-7377. That is the number for you to call and get onto the inside of tonight's program. Yeah, and speaking out, it's kind of interesting. I was looking over the weekend. I was kind of looking back, and I went back to the time of COVID. And during COVID, let me see if I've got it here. I should have it somewhere here. During the time of COVID, certain people had a lot to say, When the disaster that was facing the Grenadian people was the COVID-19 virus, certain people had a lot to say, but now you're talking when something else is affecting the Grenadian people, they find that you mustn't talk. You see, it's gotten to a stage in Grenada now that the moment you speak out or you speak up, you become a target. They decide that, hey, we have to try and shut her up, we have to try and shut him up, you become a target. Yeah? So you have lots of people who would like to talk. They would like to speak up, but they are afraid. I'm telling all you, there's a puff political party, puff government. You don't have to afraid them. You don't have to afraid them. Listen, during the COVID-19, and let me see if I could pull this one up and play it. During the COVID-19, this is what a certain person who is now an MP, this is what they were saying in relation to the situation at that point in time. And let me just, as usual, I do what I'm supposed to do to bring it up. Always making that mistake. Yeah. Right. No, it's not coming up. What's the matter with you? Yeah. Right? Yeah. But a certain individual, when they had the opportunity, now they have the opportunity to speak. Yeah, now they have the opportunity to speak. Let's hear what they had to say back during the time of COVID about speaking up about what you see taking place and what you don't agree with and so.
Me, they're going to do it. Now, the issue with regards to the banks. Now listen, I have a heart. And I want to ensure that everybody is protected. And I understand that this COVID-19 thing is dreadful. But my God, the Banking Association of Grenada, the government of Grenada, not everybody have a bank card. Not everybody have cash. You have to understand that. Yes, the bankers have to protect themselves. But these are the same bankers who are going in the grocery stores, who are lining up at the fuel station, who are going at the pharmacy and so on. The pharmacies and the people who work in the pharmacy, lives are important too. The gas attendant people, lives are important too. The supermarket owners and the staff there, lives are important too. So the same protocol, or you could even put more stringent protocols in place to facilitate people getting cash. Granny who can't use a telecard or don't have a telecard and who is on her last $50 need cash. You please have a heart. Please have an understanding. I'm not getting down on, I'm not bashing the Banking Association. I'm just saying, please have a heart. People need cash. Some people don't have anybody abroad to send monies for them. People need money. Their monies are sitting in the bank and they can't access it. Some people cards have expired. They need money. Why are you doing that and saying that your lives are important? Yes, your lives are very important. But so too are the many people that are going to work to ensure that you have food to eat and that you have gas in your vehicle and that you have medication. So we ought to be, we have to be balanced and we have to be honest. And as people, as Grenadians and in general, why are we taking our debts as sheep? Why? Listen to me.
Yeah, let me ask that question in truth. What question you just asked there? Let me hear that part again too. Yeah, remember, this is the same individual when Member of Parliament Emlyn Pear spoke up last week about the situation that people in Carriacou and Petit Martinique are being affected with right now. And they called her to speak about it. This is the same individual saying why she talking about that and why she don't focus on other things. This was him during COVID.
We taking our debts as sheep. Why? Listen to me. Not everything anybody do, people would agree with it. Trust me. And not because
he know that. And that is the guy who went on. He did a live last week, basically cussing because people don't agree with what he's doing and what is happening in Carriacou. Then he went into the ladies' room on Power 95.1. Then after that, he still come and he went on that piece of radio station in Carriacou there with Twildy and Twildum. He went there and do the same thing again. The same individual are talking now, you know.
Somebody do something doesn't mean that you shouldn't question it. It doesn't mean that you shouldn't voice your opinion. Voice your opinion. Question it. And let nobody tell you that you shouldn't talk. Because there's a trend nowadays that every time you open your mouth to speak, you're political. Every time you open your mouth to speak, there's a bunch of Facebook police that ready to bully you and to beat you up.
I ain't seen him saying anything about the Facebook police that under Honorable Emlyn Pear page right now. I ain't see him calling them. In fact, it looked like he sent them. Because the same people who does be praising him under his page is the people attacking Emlyn Pear now. You know about Facebook bullying and bullying people for their opinion now?
We need to stop this nonsense. Voice your opinion. And let no man, no woman, no child, no way, no how intimidate you from speaking. It's important to speak. Not everything I do, I expect people to agree with me. Right now, the bankers will be upset with me.
That's the same individual right now. The same person, that is him. The same guy who has been attacking Honorable Emlyn Pear because she spoke out about the situation in Carriacou. They're attacking her. Yeah, the same one who you must speak out. You must talk about these issues. Yeah, so speaking out is only for when NNP in power. When NDC is in power, you're not supposed to say anything. So it's a different rule when NDC is in office, huh?
Let us forget about the petty politics. And I know that, let's forget about the petty politics and call on the powers that be to have a heart for the people of Carriacou and Petit Martinique. I think all you understand how much this thing is disturbing my heart. It's really disturbing me. And not just me, but a lot of people in Carriacou and Petit Martinique. A lot of people are affected. And don't let the minister or nobody intimidate you and make you feel that you shouldn't speak and that you should not complain. We are not like them who could afford to buy bulks of food. There are some people.
You know about who could buy food and who can't buy food now? Oh, yeah. Well, then. Okay, all right. I'm just making sure you didn't know about who could buy and who can't buy then. All right.
So they have little cash. They're to pinch, buy a pound of this, a pound of that. A pound of this, a pound of that can't last 7 days. Oh, God. Are you have a heart now, man?
What about having a heart for the teachers and the public servants in Carriacou who house probably somewhere between Isla Ronde and St. Patrick or somewhere probably past Union Island going? What about the public workers and them now who you saying, well, they're getting their salary, let them go in the supermarket. Meanwhile, it's a food there that eventually some of it going to end up expired and you're going to take boat and go and drop it out in the water. I'm just making sure it's the same you that talking there, because that was him back in 2020, yeah?
Why are you treating Carriacou people so bad? Or what sin have we caused? What sin we do? What wrong we do? What we do wrong again, Lord? Tell me what we do wrong again.
Yeah, we could be asking that. Carriacou people asking that right now.
For us to be treated in this manner.
4407377. I think we've got a caller online. Hello, good night.
Hey, Sheldon, good night, and how are you?
I'm good, man. Go right ahead.
Right. I'm glad you bring up that video clip to see what goes around, comes around. They hate what they like, and what you don't like for yourself, they want to like it for others. So then, why it is okay when NNP was in power, man, you could speak out, and NNP was very tolerant, and people have been speaking. With NNP administration, the government then, they was very tolerant. You could have speak, you could have demonstrate, you could have do this, you could have do that. You had the freedom and the authority. No. It's like back in the days of Bishop, you would have been jailed. Yeah, like I heard a history of a man when he was talking to a bishop telling him if he continue talking, he's telling him he next to go up jail. They said the man pee pants. The man pee pants, a big man pee pants. So it's like them alone must speak. In opposition or the opposition then they could have speak. The in government no. When opposition coming to speak out, no, they want to go on your live and tell you what your mouth, what you're talking about. You understand? No, Sheldon, we are seeing a trend in health. And it is time for we Grenadians to speak out on every medium, not only on this platform, but all on radio station. And it is about time that the media, radio personnel come out and speak out and call it out for what it is. That is our right. That is the power of democracy. And we cannot let NDC take away the democracy from us. We the people, this is not Donald Trump in America. Yeah, with Donald Trump want to take away the democracy. This is time where we need to speak. And if going home, it had to be the key for it. So be it. It is time that we speak out. This administration them are doing too much, and it's like we're afraid to speak. Things are going wrong. And before somebody who work in the ministry, who talk to somebody, who think to somebody, and they perceive that person to be NNP, they want to drag them down to the public commission. They want to witch hunt them. They want to demonize them, and all them kind of thing. Look what's going on within the Royal Grenada Police Force. They demonize the police force, separate the police force. Who is NNP and who is NDC? And then you see what's going on now. MP no causing police have no respect. So then, what are we leaving for the ordinary people to do? Yeah, and I'm calling the administration again. We are seeing crime on the rise. What are you doing? What are we? Put things in place so we can go out. You have to lead so that we can help. We could assist. And I want to call to the general public. Sometimes when you are in an altercation, sometimes you just have to don't let it escalate. Give up your right for peace, even though you're wrong. You're going to live long. Instead of you trying to play brave and men encouraging you to play brave, and at the same time you see either you go in jail, you send someone in the hospital, or you send them below the ground. And parents have to be mourning for the children. Give up your right for peace to help address and bring down that crime situation. You see people killing man with no mercy, no empathy, no heart. Where we gone? You don't value someone's life. Let us be cautious about someone's life, because at the day of judgment, if you don't repent of that sin, God is going to hold you accountable for life you are taking with no mercy. Have a good night, Sheldon.
All right. Thank you very much. 4407377. Oh, gosh. Only have a heart now. Have a heart. Same individual. Now we have a call online. Hello.
Hey, bro. Good night. How are we doing?
I'm good, man. How are you doing?
Good.
All right, go right ahead.
Just one bit of information. It was not really information, but what do you say? Advice to my Grenadian brothers and sisters and the people of Grenada. Let's look at the right news. Let's look at the fake news. Them. No way Donald Trump wants to take away democracy from the people. So let's get it straight. I used to listen to CNN was my daily bread. But since after the Gulf War, I learned to decipher. Well, a matter of fact, I learned in 1979, the revolution, I learned what is propaganda. So let's get the right thing. And let's not say just what MSNBC and CNN quoting those things on the mouth. And what is going on in this world today is a global thing about evil and good. It's global. It's not no one country and one person thing. It's a global thing going around. Good and evil, God and the devil. The family is going apart. Look at it in our schools. So let's go it and not blame people. One of the callers before said pray, don't do nothing. Yes, we have to mix it up. Pray with work. Pray without faith is dead. But we got to mix it up. We got to act and we got to pray. So let's get it right and let's do it. And we have some hope that things will change and we'll get a better Grenada. Okay, enjoy. Have a great one.
Thank you very much, brother. Yeah, man. All you have to talk, yeah, man.
Canadians in general, why are we taking our debts as sheep? Why? Listen to me. Not everything anybody do, people would agree with it. Trust me. And not because somebody do something doesn't mean that you shouldn't question it. It doesn't mean that you shouldn't voice your opinion. Voice your opinion. Question it. And let nobody tell you that you shouldn't talk. Because there's a trend nowadays that every time you open your mouth to speak, you are political. Every time you open your mouth to speak, there's a bunch of Facebook police that ready to bully you and to beat you up. We need to stop this nonsense. Voice your opinion. And let no man, no woman, no child, no way, no how intimidate you from speaking. It's important to speak. Not everything I do, I expect people to agree with me. Right now, the bankers will be upset with me for.
Anyway, let's go back to the phone line. Hello, good night. Hello, good night.
Hello?
Hi, good night, caller. You're live. Go right ahead.
Yeah, I just want to ask you a question.
Right ahead, my dear.
This young children at this time, CCD.
Mm-hmm.
What the NDC is doing for that, because when there was person begging me to vote for them, they say after them trying to leave some city, they're going to get place to put them, and some of them they home, and they getting their rammed up, and this is also nobody now, and all of a sudden it's yourself.
And you know, if they're under the age of 18, they have to go back to some institution because they passed that as law. So it's either they go back to TAMCC, they go new law, or they do evening class or something. That's the law.
Yeah, but and if you don't know by now, all of a sudden they self-class. That's what they study. Because there are some children, they leave TAMCC and they can't get a job. The woman and mother not even working.
I understand, my dear.
So I don't know what I'm really doing, but try for them this song. I can't have them.
All right. Thank you so very much. Night. All right, thank you.
Bye.
And the caller is making a valid point there. As I always say, within 6 months of coming into office, the new National Party already had 2,000 young people involved in the new Imani program. Yeah? And that is without immediately just stopping the program that existed from the then NDC. We had 2,000 people on the Imani program. By 1 year, you had 4,000 young people. They can't even tell you they are 20. Let's go to the phone line. Hello, good night.
Hi, good night, Sheldon.
How you doing, my dear?
There, boy, all right.
Let me ask you now. Let me ask you because I know you
NDC,
hello.
All I'm saying is, NDC only encouraging more crime in the country. Right? The youths and them now, they're frustrated. When they turn left, they turn right, they turn up, they turn left. All wrong, they're turning now, they're frustrated. All they're doing is encouraging more crime in the country. There is nothing now that the youth the youths and them have to face or they have to go to. Not even in the pastures and them, they used to go and kick football. Now they have cricket or whatever it is. There's where Kirani and the other boys and them, they go and learn to play cricket or whatever it is. Now they can't even go in the playing field as they want. Right? And the other thing is, Mr. Dickon used to say, Pity Matnik, Carriacou, and Grenada. He put Pity Matnik first and then Carriacou second, Grenada last. Now he afraid Pity Matnik and Carriacou because Pity Matnik and Carriacou, they're in trouble now. So he was saying that to get Pity Matnik and them to get their vote for them to stay there longer. But now he afraid it. All right, Sheldon, thank you.
All right, Mede. If I remember correctly, they lost in Pity Matnik. They weren't able to win Pity Matnik. While Tevin Andrew won, I don't think he won Pity Matnik. So maybe that is what I have against the people at Pity Matnik that they didn't vote for them. I don't know. But I'm saying, listen, had the statement in relation to teachers and so on that was made by Tevin Andrew last week, was that statement made during the new National Party time? By now, you would have the president at the Teachers Union, Judas Jude. That is tell them. They only have 1 day to call my name. I had 365. Yeah? Judas Jude. Would I be out? You'd have done call some protest, stand up with some placard somewhere, call the media and have all kind of things to say already. You would have done do that. But no. It's because it's their government in office now. So you have nothing to say and no protest to do. All right.
Markets are open. Some of the people that are running them out the most are public officers, teachers.
Who? Let me hear what you're talking about there, because if an NNP minister did only say that, you could have bet your bottom dollar. All you know for a fact, right now, teachers, they have placard walking in front of the ministerial complex saying that NNP wicked. If that was said, but Judas Jude and them lose their tongue swallow, or it's so to the top of the mouth. They can't say nothing. They suffer in a serious case of mutitis. They go on mute. Yeah?
Teachers, public officers who are receiving their salaries, the salaries still running. The shop open, the supermarket open, and you're making confusion for case of water and bottle of water.
Remember, that's the same person we was watching at just now saying, if something is affecting you, talk. So if it's a public officer now, he ain't supposed to talk, eh? Like talking is only for when NNP in office. Yeah? Face get fat, boy. Anyhow.
The loudest people on social media are the people whose salaries are running. No, let's be real.
Yeah, let's be real. No, let me hear you again, because we heard you a while ago. When he was in opposition, we hear you were saying it.
The supermarkets are open. Some of the people that are running them out the most are public officers, teachers, public officers who are receiving their salaries, the salaries still running. The shop open, the supermarket open, and you're making confusion for case of water and bottle of water. The loudest people on social media are the people whose salaries are running. No, let's be real.
Yeah, Judas Jude, your mouth lock or you didn't hear. If you didn't hear, somebody go tell you. We know it does listen talking points. Come on. And even if you didn't hear, somebody go tell you. Eh? 440-737-7347-329-3101. We still await the reappearance of the Minister of Health. Now, tomorrow, there is going to be at the Parliament, and I hope that you all tune in to the Parliament tomorrow. I might endeavor to see if we're able to broadcast. I'll try my best to see if we can broadcast. But Parliament is taking place tomorrow, and at the Parliament sitting, they will be discussing the supplemental budget, yeah? I'm not going to get into the details of it now, as I said to you all last week. I much prefer to hear what is being said within the Parliament tomorrow, and then we'll discuss further in relation to that issue. But the supplemental will be presented tomorrow. I think Parliament starts at 9 a.m. So I think it's important, those of you that can tune in and listen, again, we will try to broadcast. I'm not promising that we will, but we will attempt to broadcast at Talking Points. We'll attempt to broadcast the sitting, and if we do, you'll see the notification. Once you subscribe to the page and you hit the notification button, the bell icon, you will get the notification if we've gone live. You know, because I think the Minister of Health should be there tomorrow. The Minister of Health, I mean, come on, man. Minister of Health, and we want to hear a ministerial report. Don't go in Parliament and come and play. You don't get no ministerial report. Yeah. You should get fired if you go in Parliament tomorrow and you get no ministerial report. The World Health Organization have spoken of monkeypox right now being a major health concern worldwide. What measures are being taken in Grenada? What measures are being taken in Grenada so that we can avoid having any cases here? And if we do have cases, what has been put in place to contain and deal with any possible cases we may end up having here in Grenada? What has been put in place for testing and so on in relation to that? So monkeypox or mpox is out there. All right? You have dengue. Dengue is active in Grenada. We need to hear about that. Yeah, you have COVID-19 still active. Mr. Minister of Health, you had to tell us what's going on with these babies and these mothers and things we hearing dying at the hospital. We're not blaming the doctors and nurses necessarily, but investigations need to take place because people might be getting innocent blame. So at least if you really care about the nurses, if you really care about the doctors, if you really care about the healthcare professionals, and you know they are being wrongly accused, and I'm not saying that they're being wrongly accused, I'm saying if that is the case, an investigation will clear that up, isn't it? So at least there should be an investigation so we know the truth of what is taking place or has been taking place, and then a plan can be put in place to stop it from taking place again. All right? That is what should be happening. Yeah, Mr. Minister, we don't know. Because I know you're a man, your position on things has changed according to the wind and so on. I wonder what you had to say. Mr. Minister, let me see what you had to say back in the days here.
I say this to point out a reality that we have been playing with this economy for too long. And that is this one of the reasons why I decided to get involved. We must become concerned about Grenada. We must produce our way to prosperity. Selling your citizenship, selling your birthright. Every time you sell citizenship, you make your country smaller.
What you say, Mr. Minister? Hold on. You're talking about CBI there? When you sell your citizenship, let me hear.
Your citizenship, selling your birthright. Every time you sell citizenship, you make your country smaller.
Wait. You're not the leader of government business in the House of Representatives. You might want to know, Mr. Telesford, just so that you know, your political leader, Prime Minister, yeah, he owns a company that sells the citizenship, Yeah, citizenship by investment, CBI. Right. Your Prime Minister, who you sit down in cabinet with, who you going to be sitting next to in Parliament tomorrow, he sells that. And your Minister of Finance, who is the person that had to provide the funds for the ministry that you have and so on, yeah, your good friend, the MP for St. Patrick East, right. He is a CBI agent too. And the treasurer for your political organization, you know the treasurer, Ms. Andrea St. Bernard, she's a CBI agent too. And your good friend, Mr. Victor Nazim Burke, who said all kind of thing about CBI, he's a CBI agent too. So let me hear, you have your view in relation to that. If you do not agree, if you are a parliamentarian, and you're always told this, if you do not agree with what is being done, then you take your exit. Yeah, but anyhow, let me hear you, Mr. Minister.
Selling your citizenship, selling your birthright. Every time you sell citizenship, you make your country smaller. For the bona fide, authentic, original Grenadian.
But I don't think you have a problem. This to point. I don't think you have a problem with that right now. Let me go down here. Yeah. Let me hear you again, man.
To prosperity. Selling your citizenship, selling your birthright. Every time you sell citizenship, you make your country smaller. For the bona fide, authentic, original Grenadian.
You really need to have a conversation with your political leader about that, because the NNP was not the people against CBI. In fact, we are the people brought in CBI. So we don't have a problem with it, you know, but all you seem to have conflicting views in relation to this particular issue within all your organization. Eh? Yeah. Because you are the leader of government business right now. You're the man standing up and lead the discussion in the house tomorrow. What? Yeah, you don't have no backbone again. And strange. The two people that had the worst to say about CBI. One is the leader of government business in the House of Representatives, which is Mr. Telesford. The other one is Adrian Persuader Thomas, who is the leader of government business in the Senate. The two people that leads the discussion in relation to CBI bills and them kind of thing when they come in there is the two people that had the worst to say. Let me hear you again, Mr. Telesford. What you had to say there?
Prosperity. Selling your citizenship, selling your birthright. Every time you sell citizenship, you make your country smaller for the bona fide, authentic, original Grenadian.
Nah, man, how do you say it's AI that say that? That can't be you, man. Nah, we ain't believing it's you. 440-737, sorry for the callers. 440-737-7347-329-3101. You know something I saw? They're pushing heavy last week. I realized the Prime Minister made a round. I didn't really talk about the Prime Minister last week. He made a round of things going around to different media houses. I think he was on MTV, and then he appeared on GBN and that sort of thing. Two things I realized when the Prime Minister went on. I realized that at some level, the questioning was too close to not have been somehow given to the people that had to ask the questions. We have a caller online. Hello, good night. Hello? Oops, wrong one. Hello, good night.
Good night, Sheldon.
Hey, good night, my dear. How are you?
It just hurt me. I didn't want to call, but I had to call. Friday coming making 3 fortnight. The pavement crew get paid. Did not get paid. 3 fortnight now they're working and they cannot get paid. The people have family to feed. They had a wife. They have bills to pay. They have children to send to school. This is disgusting.
3 weeks.
This government 3 fortnight now. Friday coming making 3 fortnight.
Wow.
And these people can't get $1. They keep working. This is not right. You have children to go to school. Bills are to pay. Husband and wife. You understand what they're doing? They say they come for betterment, but they come to distress people. Time for them to step up on the game. Time for them to go if they cannot rule the country. Have a blessed night, Sheldon.
All right, my dear. All right. Yeah, 3. So the people who are in the paving program, that's the asphalt people and so on. That means 3 fortnights they have not been paid. So over 6 weeks now, these people ain't get no money. They have the family to see about. They have the children to send to school next week and so on. And these people have not been receiving their money. That is not fair. That can't be fair. Nobody wouldn't like that to be happening with them. Yeah? Nobody would like that to be taking place with them. That is unfair. All right? Yeah, very unfair at that. Nice? 44's not nice at all. No nice. 440-7377. 347-329-3101, Mr. Minister. But anyway, yeah. So as I was listening to the Prime Minister last week, one thing, I realized he came and he was talking about him being the Carriacou chairman. Like if there's some great achievement, I'll move there with that. Let me tell you straight. Folks, the Carriacou chairman is a revolving thing. In other words, everybody get a piece of it. You get for 6 months, so you're the Prime Minister of Grenada is the Carriacou chairman. For 6 months, then I think it's Mia Motley of Barbados comes in. So you have Mia Motley. She will be there for 6 months. After that, I'm not sure if it's going to move, who it's going to move to, probably one of the Jamaica or one of them. So it rotates for 6 months, 6 months, 6 months, 6 months. It's not massive achievement. You didn't go into a campaign and win the chairmanship of Carriacou. You just the chairman of Carriacou at that point in time. But they're trying to boast up the thing like if it's some kind of big, massive achievement and the Prime Minister of Grenada, the chairman of Carriacou, and he gone in there now with glassy eyes and all kind of thing, the chairman of Carriacou. So, How much time Dr. Mitchell has been chairman of Carriacou and all kind of thing? It is a revolving chairmanship. But I see some of them jump. Oh, is Haiti that next? I thought it was let's sure is Haiti that next. I thought it was Mia Motley actually and Barbados that next. But anyhow, if I let's say Haiti is Haiti. So the bottom line is this. There ain't no big thing for you to come and talking. What we want to hear about is things like what taking place with the, for instance, the Marketing and National Importing Board. We want to hear what taking place with that. I realized that question was being asked and the Prime Minister ducked it. Because remember, it's the same Deacon and Miss Mitchell that tell the Grenadian people that the new entity representing the Marketing and National Importing Board will be around by June of 2024. We in August, and we ain't hearing anything about the Marketing and National Importing Board. And it is affecting agricultural output because it provided an outlet for farmers to send their goods through. So it is causing a problem. So you need the Marketing and National Importing Board in whatever form or format that you're going to bring it back in. They were promising June, nothing. You come on a thing to talk about Carriacou chairman, you care, who do you care about? If you're Carriacou chairman, who care? Who cares if you are the Carriacou chairman? Yeah? You Carriacou chairman. Then they come and they ask the same kind of question. Yeah? Right. So somebody is saying, yeah, I was correct that it is Barbados. Right. So let me tell you this. I also heard the Prime Minister speaking about he was asked the question about the debt clause and these sort of things, and Grenada being the first country to, in fact, let me play it for you here. Let me play it for you here. Because I realize the same question come up in different formats at the two, which is why I think something into right with that. But anyhow,
I want to ask, making the international news recently, there is the fact that Grenada is seemingly the only Caribbean country, I would say, which has a clause inserted to on its bond issues, which allow payments to relieve the event of the catastrophe in Grenada. Can you provide more information on the clause insertion? So you could provide some more information on that?
Sure. So the context is that after Hurricane Ivan, Grenada had to borrow a lot of money to rebuild. Yeah. That created a situation where our debt to GDP ratio was quite high and frankly unsustainable. And you recall that around 2013, Grenada entered into a self-imposed structural adjustment program. So the context here was that we recognize that if we are borrowing and have bond instruments, that we are vulnerable to catastrophic climatic events, such as the Hurricane Beryl that we've recently experienced. So the strategy around the clause was that we have a choice. We can continue servicing the debt in circumstances where people are suffering.
Yes.
Or we can say we need to be in a position where we will suspend the payment of the debt so that we can take care of our people, so that we can have the relief, so that we can rebuild our economy, rebuild our livelihoods, rebuild our country. Mm-hmm. And so the instrument really gives us the opportunity to say to our bondholders, I'm going to defer paying you what I owe you for 12 months or 24 months or 36 months and use that cash flow to treat with the emergencies that I have to currently deal with. And I will pay you back later. And the sums that I have not paid in 12 months, 24 months, 36 months, as the case might be, will be added to the amount that I owe you on the back end. So it allows you to extend the life of the bond and you pay further on. So that's in very layman terms is what it is. If you didn't have that clause that allow you to trigger it, then effectively it means if you defaulted on the bond, then the bondholders could call the bond in, and then it can have consequences for your reputation, your creditworthiness, your ability to continue.
Right, so the bottom line is he's saying that, well, they do this wonderful thing. So he went doing the rounds and speaking about that. And sorry, I was supposed to bring it up on the screen and I did not. And then let me see. I think he was on MTV talking about that same thing again, which I say I find it kind of...
In terms of, I think it was yesterday, I read somehow a news break about the debt clause that Grenada is actually the first country to use in terms of deferring, is it the payments or so forth. Can you just chat a little bit about that with us? Mm-hmm.
Right, so one of the things that came out of Hurricane Ivan and Grenada's debt restructuring, because we had to borrow a lot to rebuild as a result of Hurricane Ivan, and as a result, our ability to sustain the payments of.
Well, we don't need the whole story again. We hear it just now, and I know some people getting vexed in the background there. But remember, there's the same individual that was saying, after he said that it had been, remember, right after Hurricane Beryl, when he was still wearing the reflective vest and thing, he told us this. Let me see if I could pull this one up here. He told us this.
Where Grenada does have a catastrophic risk insurance policy, so we need to be able to determine whether we have reached the threshold to claim under this policy. It has implications for our fiscal obligations as well as our debt liabilities. In fact, the Minister of Finance has already written to some of our multilateral partners to indicate that this catastrophic event has happened and to trigger our debt suspension clause in some of these agreements, given.
And I want you all to pay particular attention to this part that he says here, that they have already written, and this was just a day or two after, in fact, I think a day after the hurricane had just passed in Carriacou.
Has already written to some of our multilateral partners to indicate that this catastrophic event has happened and to trigger our debt suspension clause in some of these agreements, given the fact that we will need significant resources just to clean up.
So that is what he was saying then. Then, when he was being interviewed by foreign journalists, not the locals, the story kind of changed, you know. Yeah, the story kind of changed, as in kind of like, well, we're going and do that kind of thing for, isn't it?
I don't know if this was discussed or asked before, but I'm quite interested in knowing about the debt suspension that Grenada asked for. If the Prime Minister could talk about that and what impact that is expected to have, and if that's been accepted already.
All right, so we have not yet made the formal request to trigger the debt suspension clauses that we have in some of our financial institutions.
Remember, this is afterwards, and now he's saying that they did not make. Where's my mouse gone to? Come here, mouse. Yeah, he was saying there that they did not, and let me just move that out from here. Nice, right? He was saying there that they did not yet trigger. Yeah, that they did not. Come on, mouse. Got it now. Yeah. So he was saying there that they did not yet trigger. And this is after he was telling us that he had triggered. So somewhere somebody was lying. Somebody, according to a good friend of mine, was clearly lying. Yeah? Because he said earlier that they had already written to some of the partners. But it changed now to.
Not yet made the formal request to trigger the debt suspension clauses that we have in some of our financial instruments. You have to appreciate that the debt suspension doesn't actually reduce the debt. It simply means for a 24-month period you don't pay, and it gives you some liquidity in that instead of paying the debt, you can use that liquidity to help with the relief and rebuilding effort. But it's simply added to the back end of the loan. And it is a useful instrument because, of course, we're here making an appeal for financing, and particularly grant financing to help us with what we are facing. But we also are pragmatic and realistic, because if we do not raise sufficient funds via this means, we can't tell our people, well, we're paying debt, and so we can't provide with water, electricity, or shelter. And so we would have to, if it comes to that, actually trigger the clause and take care of the needs of our citizens. And that is the reason, in a sense, primarily why we.
You realize when these folks speaking to the international media, when they're speaking to the CNNs and the BBC and all these other international organizations, the story does change from what they're telling us here in Grenada. When they're speaking to the local media, they have one way of speaking and they have one narrative that they push. When they start to speak to the people outside of Grenada, the story and the narrative does change, because in speaking to that particular journalist at that particular activity, the story was, hey, we don't need to necessarily do that. It doesn't really change much, so we may not do it. And we have not yet done it. But before that, he was already telling Grenadians, when he was speaking directly to Grenadians and Grenadian journalists, well, we already write to them people to trigger the clause. But when he's speaking to the international journalists, a week or two after was, we ain't do that yet. We thinking about it, but you know, if you do it don't really make a difference, and if you do it, you make a difference. That is the kind of hypocrisy that you keep getting from these individuals. That's the kind of twist-upness and tie-upness you keep getting from these individuals. Yeah? Right now, you have a problem. Kathy, you're safe now. Yeah, that is the kind of nonsense that you're getting from these individuals. So tomorrow, there'll be the parliament sitting. Yeah? So it says the chairmanship, one friend of mine is saying, the chairmanship of Carriacou is rotated in alphabetic order. We are in G, so Guyana passed it to Grenada. The next country is Haiti, but because of the current crisis in Haiti, Barbados will host the next meeting, because obviously you ain't going in Haiti and hold no heads of government meeting, are you? December, you think all the CARICOM heads of government would go in Haiti and stage a meeting with what is going on there, basically warfare, all kind of thing going on in certain parts of Haiti. And again, in certain parts of Haiti, because I think a lot of folks are under the impression that the whole of Haiti is, no, it's some parts of Haiti, like the capital and so on, that have this thing, yeah? The international media will have you believing things that are not true. It's not the whole of Haiti that under that situation, yeah? So let's go back to the phone lines. 440-7377, 347-329-3101. Yeah, we hope that we could find the Minister. Mr. Minister of Health, I hope you're there, you know. Yeah, and Mr. Minister of Education, I think the Minister of Education was supposed to return today's the 26th, so he was supposed to return yesterday. So I think now Mr. Dave Andrew should once again be the Minister of Youth and Sport and Education. So let's see if that makes any difference, because to me, you just shuffle the pack of jokers. There's only jokers in that pack. All of you shuffle it is only jokers that coming in. Yeah? So let's hear how that goes. We have a call on the line. Hello, good night.
Hi, Sheldon, good night.
Good night, my brother.
Okay, I'm calling again, once again, from the Nutmeg State, as usual. You know where that is in America here, the Nutmeg State, strangely enough, a Grenadian living in Nutmeg State. By the way, I have two questions. Who appoints the Governor General, and why is Tillman Thomas acting Governor General at this point?
The Governor General is appointed by His Majesty in this instance, the King. I believe he does it on the advice of the government of the day. I think he takes advice from the government of the day as to who they would like to see as the Governor General, and then he invites the person to be the Governor General and installs them. Now, when the Governor General is out of state, someone has to act in their place. Usually that is supposed to be the President of the Senate, but it doesn't always have to be. I've known many instances where the President of the Senate did not act as Governor General. You could call on another senior, respected person to act as Governor General. So, me, you know, Mr. Tillman Thomas end up there. But another senior, respected person could be acting as the Governor General.
Okay.
As I said, I've known instances where the Governor General has been out of the state and the President of the Senate did not act as Governor General. So that in itself is not a new thing.
No.
But
now, my other question. I got my news up here from a reliable source. On the last Grenada report from January to June, they had projected 654 million EC dollars. Okay, they had an over. They made 727 million, and the bulk of that money was due to the CBI program, which they collected $247 million. And I did some homework. A regular CBI applicant pays over $250,000 US. That translates roughly into 364 new Grenadians. And I also looked up when can these people become eligible to vote?
As far as I know, my friend, they're already eligible. Once they are a Grenadian citizen, I do not think you can bar a Grenadian citizen from registering and to vote as long as they meet the criteria. There's certain criteria in the electoral law. Again, I keep promising that, and I need to do it. Bring a lawyer on one night so we can discuss electoral law.
Yeah, but St. Kitts also have CBI program, and the people who became citizens are not allowed to vote. That's one of the countries that does not allow CBI to vote.
Mm-hmm. I am not sure that they are barred in Grenada. I think they were at a point in time. I am not sure if it is still so. They were. I am not sure if it is still so. I think there's some clause there that they may be able to. Yeah? That's why I keep asking folks, my friend, to look at the electoral list. So if you find you're seeing some names that we are Grenadians, we know the Grenadian names. We know the surnames that you see it and you know that's a Grenadian surname. And then we know the surnames that you see, yeah? You know the surnames that you see, and you know that that surname definitely is not an original Grenadian surname. So we know the names. We have to look for them. And even there's also
that CBI person, that CBI personnel has, when I did my research, they have to be living in that constituency for a minimum of 2 years.
And that is right.
Yeah, they have to be. For example, they can. I am from St. Patrick's, although I live in America, and someone who became CBI cannot register on the St. Patrick list.
Don't be too sure. Anything could happen. Anything could happen under this administration. Remember, the qualification is not 2 years. The qualification is 12 months residing.
Oh, 12 months. Okay,
12 months, not 2 years. 12 months as a resident of a particular area before you can register as an elector in that constituency. But what we have seen is that already many individuals have left the US, the UK, and Canada, etc., come home and register. And some of these people have been out of the state for, you're talking 10, 15, 20 years. And they've come back in and they've registered into constituencies that they have not spent 12 months in. Which is why you hear the talk, you hear people calling names and saying stuff, but unless that is pointed out directly and a proper protest is made, those people will not be removed from the electoral list. So there's possibilities that that is happening now. And you hear people advocating from the government side, telling people, come into the country, come and register. Don't bother with how long you've been outside, come and register. That is not legal. Yeah, so there has to be a serious discussion in relation to that, because some folks are saying that it's okay, some are saying no. I think a broader discussion has to take place in relation to that particular issue. But in the interim, it is the job of each and every one of us to check the voters list. We have to check it. So whether there's CBI, whether there's people who, you know, they're born, they grow up in St. Patrick, they travel and they come back, and all of a sudden they register in St. George Southeast. After being here for just 3 days or 4 days or a week, they register in St. George Southeast, then we have to be able to identify and report.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, I'll turn my volume back up now so I can continue listening.
No problem, brother. All right. Thank you.
All right.
Yes, indeed. 440-7377. That's 440-7377. That's the number for you to call and get onto the inside. Good night to you, Joyce. I just seen you. Good night to you. And again, folks, I'm reminding you all that the Parliament is sitting tomorrow. The supplementary budget. This is like budget part 2, the mid-year budget, right? So that is going to be taking place at the Parliament tomorrow. I'm telling you all, listen, because it's going to be interesting to hear the responses to what the opposition is asking about different aspects of the supplemental. Yeah, they will ask questions in relation to it. So it's interesting. It's going to be important for you to hear what is being said. Yeah. So again, the people who have been outside of Grenada for many years and you come back, you're not supposed to be able to register in a constituency if you have not been ordinarily resident. And when they say ordinarily resident, The qualification of ordinary resident, according to the law, is that ordinary resident could be construed as that's where you sleep. That's where you receive your mail. Yeah, so the post office in that constituency is where you receive your mail. You live there. You go to work, you come back and you go there. That is ordinarily resident. Not come and spend a week in Grenada and you go and you say, well, okay, I feel I want to go and back up this candidate, so I go in and register in St. Patrick East. You have no connection. You never lived there in your life, but you just go and register up there. And the only way to stop that is by each and every one of us paying attention to the voters list. We have to pay attention to the voters list. And I'll tell you all something as well, because I see various elements trying to circulate different things because they want the attention to be focused on the new national party. They want everybody to come and say, well, look, this going on in NNP and that going on in NP, and focus on NNP. And they're doing that now. And look at who doing it, because you always have to look at not just the message, but who is the messenger, where it's coming from. And then the reason that that particular messenger has decided that now is the time for them to put forward that message. And because they know what they're going to try with the supplemental, is why they're trying to push things now to shift people's attention away from Parliament tomorrow, to shift people's attention away from all the nonsense that they're doing, to shift people away from what is taking place to the people who are living in Carriacou right now in tents. And again, I'll ask the question directly of the MP for Carriacou and Petit Martinique, who say he has so much love for people and have a heart. The people you're putting in tent, where is the bathroom and toilet facilities for these people? Where is the bathroom and toilet facilities for these people? Thank God the new National Party brought up portable toilets, because all you're giving them tent. Where are the toilet facilities for these people to use? You're putting these people into an untenable situation. You're taking them out of a place where they have bathroom and toilet facilities. You're putting them in a tent. What are the facilities that they'll be able to utilize now that you told them go in a tent and go and put up the tent on your property? What are the facilities that they'll be able to utilize there? Yeah, you have to ask yourself those questions. Because you could seriously cause a serious problem. Serious problem you could be causing Carriacou and Petit Martinique there right now. You're taking people out of a sanitized situation and you're placing them in a situation that's not so sanitized. And Ira? Because Naira Rasta. Oh, go a long time we ain't talked by. How is my uncle? I hope everything is going good, man. Yeah, 4407377 329-3101. And again, a good friend of mine just sent here, the hurricane clause was first introduced by NNP after Ivan, and subsequently other countries, they put it in. Yeah, and it was Grenada. Grenada was the first country that said, the new National Party was the first government that said, hey, we're going to take a loan, but the only way we're going to accept that loan from you is if we have this clause in it. So we are not going to take a loan unless we can have that hurricane clause in it. And the hurricane clause is basically, okay, we've taken this loan from you, but if a hurricane or any other natural disaster adversely affects the state of Grenada and therefore the economy of Grenada, we have the right to withhold payments for a 12-24-month period, so that within that period of time we'd be able to utilize those funds to build back up our economy and then restart payments to you afterwards. So it's not that you will not get paid, but that for the period that we're dealing with that disaster, the period that we're dealing with whatever has happened, we will stop paying you at that point in time. It's not that you would not receive the money that you're supposed to get then. You will get your money afterwards. Right? So it was the new National Party under Dr. The Right Honorable Keith Mitchell that introduced that. Not just in the Caribbean, in the world. The first country in the world to ever put in a hurricane clause. And I challenge anybody to find any country before the island of Grenada and the new National Party government that had a hurricane clause in the loans that they take as a country. There's none. I can guarantee you can't find one country that had hurricane clause before. Now, other countries have started to adopt it. So you have many other countries now that are going, and when they're asking for the loans, they're putting in hurricane clauses in their thing as well. Yeah? 440-7377-347-329-3101. And as my good friend asked about the CBI there, yeah, we just have to remind people the minister there.
Your citizenship, selling your birthright. Every time you sell citizenship, you make your country smaller. Parity. Selling your citizenship, selling your birthright. Every time you sell citizenship, you make your country smaller. For the bona fide, authentic, original Grenadian. Parity. Selling your citizenship, selling your birthright. Every time you sell citizenship, you make your country smaller. For the bona fide, authentic, original Grenadian.
All right, let me say a special good night to you, Miss Camille Teresa Scott. Hope that you're having a wonderful night tonight, my dear. Yeah, don't worry, folks. I saw it today. Yeah, I saw it today. Right here. And I wonder if I have this other man where he was saying about CBI and thing there, boy. I wonder if I have the other one. Yeah, that is, yeah. I wonder where that thing disappeared to. Hey, I losing files, man. Yeah, I have to get them files back. 440-737-7347-329-3101.
Mr. PM, sir, I hope you listen to me. I'm not your enemy, just the voice of the people. La da do do da do. Last year enough people said give you a song. In all fairness, I told all of them hold on. It was only one.
Also, on my way in today, I heard them speaking about the fact that the various people who are the shareholders, the investors in that Kimpton by Kawana project, that they have been asked now. I think they put up a website and they're asking the people to sign in and make their claims. Folks, don't watch that just so. You're speaking at least 56 million US that this administration is going to have to pay out, because they gave the impression to the Grenadian people it was only 22 million that they were going to pay the developer. Remember the difference between the developer and the investor. The developer is the person who owns the project. They have the project. They are developing the project. They're doing the actual building and so on. The investors are the little people, well, not little in this instance because these people have the money, who paid money to the developer to own shares in that project. So now, they've paid off the developer. No. And we've been telling you all this since late last year. We've been telling you all that this was coming, because they have over 214 investors. Some of them at 250,000 US, some of them at 350,000 US. And I assume that interest is going to be paid to them as well. These individuals now have to get their money back. So you're speaking over 56 million US that this administration is going to have to pay to these investors after having paid 22 million US to the developer. And you know the worst thing about this is that they didn't have to pay a cent. That's the worst part of this, you know. That is not just incompetence. That is corruption, if you ask me. Because this administration should have gone to court. Grenada had a perfect case. Perfect case. You had all the evidence to prove that what the developer was claiming, they had no case against the state of Grenada. But government change, and we hear all the talk about that developer. We hear the talk in tongue, we hear the rumors that that developer funded the campaign of the political party that won power in 2022. And all of a sudden, instead of going and fighting the case to the benefit of Grenadians, this government decided, no, we're going to just give in. We're going to go through some discussions and end it and say, okay, we're going to just pay them 22 million US and let them forget that. And then we won't get another developer to take over that project. But then still, they was telling you all that, they were saying that, but they were not speaking about the 56 million that has to be paid to these people. So now the 56 million is on our back. It's not deacon money, That is all our money that they used to pay that now. That they did not need to pay. Had they gone to court, Grenada would have won. Grenada would have won. They knew that. This government knew that. But you don't know, because if it is a case that the ruling party, the NDC, was funded for the election campaign by that developer, and now they give the developer his money back, basically. If that is the case, as far as I'm concerned, that is corruption. Yeah? That is corruption. That somebody fund your campaign to get in office, somebody that has a case against the state of Grenada, when you get in office, you go and settle without going through the proper channels. You go and settle with that individual or that company and give them 22 million US. And the thing is that they only spend about what? 9 million or so they spend EC, or 11 million EC or so that they spend on the project here. All the rest was money from from the same investors. So they didn't even spend $22 million US in Grenada. If I remember correctly, it was somewhere between 9 and 11 million EC that they had spent on the project here. And yet still they got 22 million US payoff. And now you and I have to find 56 million US to pay all the investors because this government decided that they're not going through with the case. That's what we hear. That's why we are at the point that we are right now. That sounds sensible to you all? Now you have a developer who was developing a facility in Grenada. Follow me here. You have a developer who was developing a facility in Grenada. They're building a hotel here in Grenada. These investors, these people who have been putting their money into that hotel to get shares in the hotel, these people have been putting their money into it, and instead of the money being used on the facility here in Grenada, the money was being used on a facility outside of Grenada. Now tell me, you all find that was right? You all find that that was right? If the money is being spent by these people, if they come and they say, okay, I have 350,000, I'm going to put it into the Kimpton by Kawana in Grenada. If they come and they say, that's the money we're putting into that hotel, and they put their money into it here, but then when you're checking now, the money isn't being spent in Grenada, it's being spent on another hotel facility in another island, not even in the state of Grenada. It's being spent outside of the territorial waters of the state of Grenada in another country that the same developers are developing. No. The people got their CBI, it's citizenship by investment. So they got citizenship, the Grenadian passport and citizenship, by investing in Grenada, not investing in another territory. Let it go and get passport in another territory. If the money had to go in another territory, that territory had to have their own CBI or whatever so that they could do their thing there. But the money is supposed to be spent here in Grenada. So was the new National Party, if that is the case, just let me know, was the new National Party wrong for telling the developer, you can't do that? I don't think all you understand what take place with this thing, The new National Party was wrong for telling these people, all you cannot do that, all you cannot take money that was deposited for a project here in Grenada and take that money and spend it on a project outside of the state of Grenada. So when the New National Party say that is the worst thing, when they put measures in place so that kind of thing cannot happen, so that the money would go into a specific account that the government would then look and see where you reach and then say, okay, we're going to release some more of the money to you, we're going to release some more of the money to you, and so it's your money, it's there, but the government has the oversight to say, okay, you're supposed to be 30% complete at this time, you're down at 10%, what is the reason for that? And if you have a proper explanation, they release money to get you up to where you need to be. Or if you surpass or so on, they say, oh, you're doing well and so, and they help you to get to the end of the project. But when you're looking at a project that's supposed to be 30% and it's at 20, and then you're giving them funds to bring it up to the 30, but that money is being used outside of Grenada. And then these same people come and try to make Dr. Mitchell look like Dr. Mitchell and the New National Party like if they're wicked. That is what happened, you know. That is the simplest way I could put it of what happened. Money was being taken outside of the project here in Grenada and utilized outside. That is what's taking place. So Dr. Mitchell and the NNP put an end to that, and these people want to upset for that. They decided to take in Grenada to court for that, all sorts of things. And this government, instead of going like men, with what they said, cajones, instead of standing up like men with cajones and fighting the case, say no, don't worry, man. Dr. Mitchell and NNP was this and that. Hey, look, 22 million US. And don't worry about the investors. We're going to pay them, man. Yeah. 56 million or more. That is no problem. Let them come, man. We won't give them the money. Yeah, because them investors ain't coming back for just the investment. They're coming back for the investment plus interest. And you better hope that they do ask for damages too. Yeah? So they're coming back. And you better hope that they don't bring a class action. A few of them get together and decide that they're bringing a class action against the state of Grenada for that. Because all of that would have been done not by the New National Party administration, but by the NDC administration. They are the reason you have to find 56 million US right now to pay, not the NNP. The NNP was protecting the interests of Grenada and protecting the image of the CBI program in Grenada, that people would be comfortable that if I spend my money on a CBI program in Grenada, that money is being spent in Grenada and nowhere else. Because I think a lot of people hear the thing, but they never really realize it. They just think, oh, Dr. Mitchell and the man had some falling out and was some kind of confusion between them. And no, that is not the case. The case is exactly what I'm telling you here. That money that ought to have been spent in the program, the projects here in Grenada, was finding itself in projects outside of Grenada. And that should not have been happening. Yeah? That should not have been happening. The money should have been spent only in Grenada on the project here in Grenada. Because I don't hear people talking about it now, you know, the same, you remember the same NDC executive members and so used to be talking about, oh, they're taking over the beach and concrete and the thing here. All of them waiting for the hotel to complete and thing now so they could go and knock glass inside there and eat shrimp. All of them waiting now for it to finish. Bunch of hypocrite. Yeah? So folks, just a reminder, tomorrow night we will be going over the parliament session from tomorrow, God's willing. So we will not be doing the normal Talking Tuesdays where we have a guest on with us. We might, according to how things go tomorrow. I didn't want to interfere with the team as they have the parliament sitting. I know it's a very important one. So tomorrow night we'll be going over different aspects of the supplemental and the midterm economic review. That's what one of the callers was referring to earlier. They were referring to the midterm economic review. So that and one or two other things that are coming out from Parliament tomorrow, we will discuss tomorrow night and probably for the rest of the week and so. We'll also be introducing a new section to the program. In fact, I met a lady earlier this year and she mentioned to me, she said, Sheldon, one of the things that you must do is that for the younger ones especially, you must remind them of what was taking place in Grenada many years ago, 20 years ago. Well, 20 years ago, we were just before Ivan. Yeah? So what I've been doing is getting some video footage digitized of 1995, 1996, 97, 98, 99. Yes, I have video footage of those years. 2000, 2001 coming up and so on. So in and between, we'll endeavor to go over some of the projects that were done in the past, some of the things that took place. I was going over some footage last night and I saw some things from Hurricane Lenny. That's wrong way, Lenny. Yeah, that is the storm surge. And so saw some of that footage last night. I know I have some more somewhere. I have to find that. So some of those things. So what we'll be doing, and I'm trying to figure out if we're going to do it on the Wednesday nights or the Thursday nights. You all will message me and tell me which night you think is the best. That we take a half hour or so and we go over the historical part of things. Some of the projects that were done before. Some of the election campaigns that passed before. Some of the major events that took place in Grenada and so on. And we'll have the video footage to show some of those things that happened before. And you all might be very surprised to see some of yourself. I see some people in some footage there last night. I laugh until I roll. I laugh until I roll some of the people that I see last night and some of the footage. So folks, that's all the time we have for Talking Points tonight. It's been wonderful being here. In everything you say and do it safe and secure. I want to be speaking to and with you and definitely not about you. My name is Sheldon Scott. I'm out of here. Love each and every one of you. And of course, in whatever you do tonight, just make sure and remember, pray for us, eh? So we're heading out of here.